Burnout. What is burnout? Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. As the stress continues, you begin to lose the interest and motivation that led you to take on a certain role in the first place. Burnout reduces productivity and saps your energy, leaving you feeling increasingly helpless, hopeless, cynical, and resentful. Eventually, you may feel like you have nothing more to give. The negative effects of burnout spill over into an area of life, including your home, work, social life. Burnout also can lose long-term changes to your many consequences. It's important to deal with burnout right away. Most of us have days when we feel hopeless, overloaded, unappreciated. And when dragging ourselves out of bed requires the determination of Hercules. If you feel like this most of the time, however, you may be heading towards being burnt out. And burnout is a gradual process. This doesn't happen overnight, but it can creep up on you. The signs and symptoms are subtle at first, but become worse as time goes on. Think of the early symptoms as red flags that something is wrong that needs to be addressed. If you pay attention and actively reduce your stress, you can prevent a major breakdown, but if you ignore them, you will eventually burn out. And some of the physical signs and symptoms of burnout can be feeling tired and drained most of the time, your lowered immunity, frequent illnesses, frequent headaches, muscle pains, aches and pains, change in appetite, or even sleep habits. Emotional signs and symptoms of burnout can be sense of failure and self-doubt, detachment, feeling alone in the world, loss of motivation, an increasingly cynical and negative outlook on the world, decreased satisfaction and sense of accomplishment, sense of failure and self-doubt, feeling helpless, trapped and defeated. We can also withdraw from responsibilities, isolating yourself from others. Procrastination, one of the big ones, take longer to get things done. Taking out your frustration on others, skipping work or coming in late, or even leaving early. Burnout can often stem from your job, but anyone who feels overworked and undervalued is at total risk for burnout. From the hard-working office worker who hasn't had a break in years, to even a frazzled stay-at-home mum tending the kids' housework, and an aging parent. But burnout is not caused solely by stressful work or too many responsibilities. Other factors contribute to burnout, including your lifestyle, personality traits. In fact, what you do in your downtime and how you look at the world can play a real big part in causing the overwhelming stress at work or the home demands. Any work-related causes of burnout can make you feel like you're having little or no control over your work, your lack of recognition or rewards for good work, unclear and over-demanding job expectations, doing work that's monotonous or unchallenging, working too much without time for socialising or relaxing, and lack of close, supportive relationships. We can take on too many responsibilities without enough help from others, and also not getting enough sleep. Personality traits which can contribute to burnout are the typical perfectionist tendencies, nothing is ever good, the pessimistic view of yourself and the world, and the need to be in control, reluctant to delegate to others. Also high achieving. So, working on dealing with this burnout symptoms and signs which we're slowly heading towards. So whether you recognise the warning signs of impending burnout or you're already past the breaking point, trying to push through exhaustion and continuing as you have been will only cause further emotional and physical damage. So now is the time to pause and change direction by learning how you can help yourself overcome burnout and feel more healthy and positive again. There is a saying out there in regards to the 3R approach, which is 1, recognise, so watch for your warning signs. Reverse, which is undoing the damage by seeking support and managing stress. And resilience, build your resilience. When you're burnt out, problems seem insurmountable. Everything looks bleak. It's so difficult to muster up the energy to care, let alone take action to help yourself. But you have a lot more control over stress than you may think. There are positive steps you can take to deal with overwhelming stress and get your life back into balance. One of the most effective is to reach out to others. And we all know that social contact is nature's antidote to stress, and talking face to face with a good listener is one of the fastest ways to calm your nervous system and to be able to relieve stress. The person you talk to doesn't have to be able to fix your stressors. They just have to be a good listener and someone who will listen attentively. So reaching out to those closest to you, such as a partner, family, and friends. Opening up won't make a burden for you towards others. In fact, most friends and loved ones will be flattered that you trust them enough to confide in them, and it will only strengthen your friendships. Try not to think about what's burning you out, and make the time you spend with loved ones positive and enjoyable. Limit your contact with negative people. Hanging out with negative-minded people who do nothing but complain will only drag you down, your mood and your outlook. If you have to work with a negative person, try to limit the amount of time you spend together. Whether you have a job that leaves you rushed off your feet or one that is monotonous, the most effective way to combat job burnout is to quit and find a job you love instead. Of course, for many of us, changing job or career is far from being a practical solution. We're grateful just to have work that pays the bills. So whatever your situation though, there are still steps you can take to improve your state of mind. So try to find some value in your work. Even in some mundane jobs, you can often focus on how the role helps others, for example, or provides a much needed product or service. Focus on the aspects of the job that you do enjoy, even if just chatting with your co-workers at lunch. Changing your attitude towards your job can help you regain a sense of purpose and control. Another key part of this is finding balance in your life. If you hate your job and burnt out and overworked, Look for meaning and satisfaction elsewhere in your life, in your family, friends, your hobbies. Focus on the parts of your life that bring you joy. And key part of all this, if you need to, take time off. If burnout seems inevitable, try to take a complete break from work. Have a short break, use up your 6 days, ask for temporary leave of absence, anything to remove yourself from the situation, and use the time away to recharge your batteries and pursue other methods of recovery. Learn to reevaluate your priorities. Burnout is an undeniable sign that something important in your life is not working. You need to be able to take time to think about your hopes, goals, and your dreams. Are you neglecting something that is truly important to you? This can be an opportunity to rediscover what really makes you happy and slow down and give yourself time to rest, reflect, and heal. Set your boundaries. Don't overextend yourself. Learn how to say no to requests on your time. If you find this difficult, remind yourself that saying no allows you to say yes to the commitments you want to make. Take a daily break from technology. Set a time each day when you completely disconnect. So put those laptops away, turn off your phone, and also stop checking emails, social media. Giving yourself some time to reflect on where you are can help you grow. If you can, nourish your creative side. And creativity is a powerful antidote to burnout. Try something new, start a fun project, or resume a favourite hobby. Choose activities that you have nothing to do with work or whatever is causing your stress. Get plenty of sleep. As we know, feeling tired can exacerbate burnout by causing you to think irrationally. Keep your cool in stressful situations by getting a good night's sleep. So it's learning to use your own emotional intelligence. So learn how to reduce stress in the moment, manage troublesome thoughts and feelings, and motivate yourself to take the steps that can relieve stress and burnout. Improve your relationships at work and home, rediscover joy and meaning that make work and life worthwhile. Increase your overall health and happiness. Another key tip here is make exercise a priority. Even though it may be the last thing you feel like doing when you're burnt out, exercise is a powerful antidote to stress and burnout. It's also something you can do right now to boost your mood. So if you can, aim to exercise for 30 minutes or more per day, or break that up into 10-minute bursts of activity. A 10-minute walk can improve your mood for 2 hours. Also, rhythmic exercise, where you move your body and arms and legs, is a hugely effective way to lift your mood, increase your energy, sharpen your focus, and relax both the mind and body. Try walking, running, swimming, or even dancing. To be able to maximize stress relief, instead of continuing to focus on your thoughts, focus on your body and how it feels as you move, the sensations of your feet hitting the ground, for example, or even the wind on your skin. Burnout is rarely a sudden development. Even trained counsellors and therapists who tend to understand their own self-care find it easy to neglect their own needs, prioritising instead of their work commitments. Over the months and years, and even oversights in self-care can build into something unsustainable, eventually resulting in burnout. You may find that your previously manageable caseload has become overwhelming due to a client presenting a particularly acute needs, or that you find it difficult to assert professional boundaries in a habitual overcommit yourself. Whether you are experiencing the initial symptoms of burnout or have found yourself at crisis point, taking action to change your circumstances is vital. In order to recover from burnout, it's important to understand why you have become vulnerable to it. Simply going on holiday and returning to the same working pattern really won't solve the underlying issue. To be able to recover from burnout, you need to make your own health and well-being your main priority. And yes, this can be easier said than done, but until you are well, concerns such as growing, getting extra training, or even renovating your house will need to be put on hold. Outside of maintaining your personal relationships and caring for your children, your overriding focus has to be you. Even if that means taking some time out of other areas of your life, which they are not contributing to your recovery. We learn to create emotional barriers, varying the intensity of empathy in sessions and life as a protective measure. While it's vital for a therapeutic relationship to be had within counselling practice, vicarious trauma is a big contributor to burnout and this happens with health and well-being practitioners. You must find ways to protect yourself while helping others, working with self-care tips which you use to safeguard your own well-being. So devise a collection of professional pick-me-ups. When you know you are seeing a challenging client or a challenging task at work, make sure you have time for something you enjoy or find relaxing afterwards. And make sure you put in your schedule self-care. And it's a way to ensure you actually do it. Even if it's as simple as making room for half an hour to enjoy a hot drink without distraction. Also tweak your schedule so you can get home earlier or enjoy your full lunch hour. You should not let internal pressures dictate unhealthy working practices. Other key points which can help you possibly consider meditation, art therapy, journaling, or even another therapeutic action. Self-care actions such as this will give you a break, both literally and figuratively. It's often the perfectionists who are most prone to burnout, and through meditation or a similar habit, you can find some relief from negative self-talk. Meditation is particularly helpful because it allows your mind and body to rest on a profound level, which is extremely important when relaxation has been neglected for an extended period of time. Even if it's just 20 minutes a day, meditation has been associated with brain changes that can help you cope with stress and lessen anxiety. Give yourself time, and it's important to give yourself time to recuperate, especially if you've hit crisis point. You may find it months before you feel functional again, and perhaps even longer to be fully recovered. While you should believe that you will get better, remove any expectations on yourself to be back to normal in a set time frame. You will find that one day, soon, the world will look brighter and you'll enjoy your work again. You just have to give yourself the permission to go at your own pace. You are worthy of self-acceptance no matter what. Even when you struggle or make a mistake, there is no need for guilt or shame. Others are also worthy of acceptance, even when their behaviour involves something that you don't like. Negative things will sometimes happen in life, and that doesn't mean that things are happening in a way they shouldn't be. Life is not positive all the time, and there is no rational reason to expect it to be. And most people are afraid of total failure, which often keeps them stagnant or stuck in the same place. In fact, the fear of failure can lead people to develop rigid standards and become perfectionistic in an effort not to experience embarrassment or shame that comes with failure. But we need to know that failure is an experience that should be embraced. And if you can remind yourself that failure is not a bad thing, especially if you took risks or stepped outside your comfort zone, which is one of the biggest moves to make. After all, failure is an opportunity to grow as a person. It allows you to learn something new, change directions, and see what you are made of. And if you viewed as a welcome experience instead of a worst case scenario, it stretches you to try new things in spite of the risks involved. So if you can, each day, just take 10 minutes for a walk, meditation, or even sit with a cup of tea or coffee and just have those 10 minutes of switching off. And I'm talking from social media, your telephone, or any distractions which we're so used to having surrounding us. So learn to take a step back.